Rose Spinelli! Well, it's delightful to see you again, Rose. We spent some time together at the big crowdfunding conference out in Las Vegas. But you have a consulting firm that really helps people try to figure out this crowdfunding thing, and you don't charge gazillion dollars, like a lot of consultants do, to help people figure out how to get this money. First of all, your website is thecrowdfundamentals.com, right?
Right.
So why are you excited about crowdfunding? I mean, you're basically a journalist, aren't you?
Yeah, well, for a few reasons. I sort of slipped into crowdfunding accidentally because I was helping friends and organizations, dog-related organizations, raise funds for campaigns on crowdfunding. I sort of stumbled on it, thought it was really cool. I actually do have a nonprofit background where I was doing development. So
development, that's called fundraising, right? Isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. So I understood what it took to raise money, and I was good at it. When I was working in the sort of like old paradigm. So then suddenly to see this new democratic way of raising money was just phenomenal to me.
You don't have to hire a developer like you, right?
But you know what? That's really such a dinosaur method of raising money. I mean, you could do. It's a real crowdfunding is sort of DIY. It's just a matter of teaching people this sort of formula of what.
So, what are the big mistakes that people usually fall into when they're trying to do this stuff?
Well, one of the things, and it's very understandable because social media is new for all of us, right? So we're all sort of like just getting our feet, slipping our toes in the water. And so the biggest mistake I would say is that people aren't using social media enough and they're not using it correctly. And so without social media, crowdfunding would not exist.
I see. So in other words, they're just putting a site up and they think all the money will come in, and it's not happening, right?
Exactly. They think that these platforms are shopping malls.
I see.
And they're just ready to give you money, They don't understand that it's no different. It's just a different way, but you still have to market yourself.
Yeah.
You still have to put yourself out there. And because we live in this connection economy, and this in the social media world, it's really necessary that you share what you're doing, but also be interested in what other people are doing in social media. So it's about engagement.
Yeah.
So they fail to realize that it's about
So
engagement.
before you even start one of these things, so you should get an idea what your social media looks like and what's going on there before you build a crowdfunding web page or whatever.
Right,
huh?
right.
Yeah.
You should find. Have you heard the term 1,000 fans? We've all got 1,000 true fans.
Right.
So you have to find those 1,000 true fans. And it's so easy. I mean, the tools online make it so easy for you to do that. There are Facebook pages that are set up for exactly what your interest is and exactly what you want to raise money for. So it's up to you to start contributing, join those groups, find those people, share what you know, be interested in what they know, and suddenly you have a relationship. So that when you go to them and say, I'm trying to raise money for this, A, you know that they're interested in what you're trying to raise money for. They have the same passion you do, and B, they know you. It's not like it's not like a panhandler on the street saying, "Give me $50."
Okay, so what else have you seen out there idiots like me would do if I just did it?
Well, really for me, I'm so interested in crowdfunding again because my background is journalism. What I've made a life doing is finding out people's stories. I am fascinated by people's stories. And so what I realized, the skill set for me that I think, helps me help other people is that I know how to find the story. So you asked what's the big mistake that people make is that they're not taking the time to really tell their story in a way that inspires the passion that we know is there.
Well, I guess it's hard for us as individuals because we think, I've heard this story my whole goddamn life. Who the hell wants to hear this?
Right.
So you're able to bring it out of me or something like that.
Right, exactly. And so hopefully, it's like if I and other people share the knowledge that yes, we are interested in your story, that then they will start realize, those crowdfunders out there and future crowdfunders will realize, oh, people do care, people do want to know, not just what my product is, but how I came to want to develop.
So if you're making a new kite, and you tell that little story when you were 3 years old and fell off the cliff with the kite.
Exactly. If you don't tell me that part of it, chances are good I'm going to lose interest pretty quickly.
Right. Who the hell cares about a new kite? But you falling off the cliff at 6 years old, man, that's cool.
Exactly.
With a kite string.
It gives me something to relate to about you. Suddenly it humanizes you, and it makes me want to stay on the page and learn more.
So we got social media, we got your story, and anything else that's a hot item that people screw up on?
Well, everything in my humble opinion, and that's just because it's my orientation, but I think story weaves itself in every important aspect of crowdfunding. So it's in the social media stuff that we talked about. It's like, and really it's how businesses are run today. Brands are not about products anymore. They're about the people behind the brands. So it doesn't matter what you're trying to raise funds for. If you think it's too abstract, there's really no story there, that's not true.
No, you're right. I was saying, even when I used to do a lot of television ads on selling books, I mean, people buy this book after seeing me for a minute on television. They never even saw the book.
Right. But they were willing to go buy the book.
Yeah, just based on me for 60 seconds.
They learned about you and seeing you on TV. So, I mean, all of the pieces of the puzzle, even in terms, so another big piece that people fail to get right is how to interact with the media.
That must be it, media.
Right. And again, what does that fall? It goes back to storytelling. Because if I'm a busy blogger, or I'm a busy editor, or I'm a busy influencer of one form or another, I just don't have the time to wade through,
Oh, you got a new product, and I got to figure out how this is interesting.
So you have to. So what our new world is forcing people to learn how to do is to tell our own story as well. So no matter how. So when I contact a reporter or a blogger that I want to write about, it's like that I want them to write about me. I have to figure out succinctly and clearly what the hook is to pull them in, that first thing, and then to sort of roll it out in a way that doesn't. I mean, I got an email just this morning. This is a true story. This guy wanted help with his crowdfunding campaign. I opened the email, and it was like a blanket of text. It was just like and I scrolled down, so my heart sank. And I scrolled down to the bottom.
He needs help.
So the last paragraph was, so if you think you can help me, I'd really appreciate it. So let me get this straight here. You want me to wade through all of this before, it's like, do you see there's an imbalance here? It's for me to want to read this, So I wrote him back and I said, give it to me in 200 words or less, or better still, in two sentences. He did. To his benefit, he got back to me in about 15 minutes.
Good for him. Well, then he's willing to learn. So that's the fourth thing, maybe. You got to be willing to learn.
You got to absolutely.
So you got to understand social media. You got to know how to do the story and how to present a story to the media that use it. And that you're going to have to be willing to learn, no matter if you're an old guy like me or a 22-year-old geek.
That's the good news, isn't it?
Right.
Learning new stuff is what we all.
And you have a course, Rose. You have a course online that goes through these things. It's like it looks like a 4 or 5 hour course. I mean, that really takes you through the whole thing, and it's on Udemy, right?
It's called Udemy.
Udemy. So it's udemy.com, and you're the crowdfunding guru there, and you're saying to our people you'll give a 50% discount if you use the promo code Lesko, Lesko.
Exactly. So the course itself is called Working the Crowd, Know the Fundamentals. If you go to the site, you'll find it very easily. put in the promo code Lesko and you'll save 50%.
Wonderful. And to find you, you're always at thecrowdfundamentals.com. And if you or someone out there listening to us is involved with dogs, you'll help that crowdfunding for free, won't you?
I will. Yeah, rescue groups, people that are raising funds specifically for dog organizations because there's such a need and those people who are so overworked and they're doing such important work.
Yeah, dogs are so important. They have been in our family and they are to me. I never grew up with a dog, but now they taught me so much about life and they're wonderful. So thank you for caring for the dogs and let's help take care of the takers. Thank you, Rose.
Thank you.
Take care.
Take care.